This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop. Get real.
Morning. Welcome to DBL. You got the best crew in all of TV with you. You're welcome.
All right. Welcome to the DBL
We just
Diner.
lost the 5 people that were watching.
Please come back. Please, we love you. All right. Actually, this this turnaround goes to what we're talking about here. How much do you trust the news? Well, it turns out a new study shows more and more Americans don't trust the media, and it even goes further than mistrust. Get this, 50% of Americans now believe that national news organizations intend to mislead or misinform people, even with the stories that cable news reports on. There seems to be a bias. Take today, for example, all right? This is the homepage for Fox News. They led with a story about the Ohio train derailment, saying Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg was being blasted for touting rail safety and blaming Trump. Now look at CNN. The story about the train derailment is all about the animals that are reportedly dying and what that means for our health. So here's something that's really important. The study we're talking about did show most Americans trust local news, their local news. And I want you to start thinking about what you trust or don't trust. DBL Nation, we want to hear from you. What do you think about this? Are national news organizations trying to mislead people? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Thoughts? And let's just start in being open with our show, because people sometimes get that wrong and think, we're journalists. No, that we're a news show, and we do sometimes touch on news shows, but we are clearly an opinion show. Agreed?
Yeah. See, I'm so glad we're doing this story. I've been wanting to do this since season 1.
Get it off your chest.
Honestly, because the way people come at me or come at any of us, like, listen, y'all are watching reality TV about news, okay? About the news cycle. We talk about everything from politics to sports to entertainment. Obviously, y'all have been watching all of this. This is essentially a reality TV show rooted in the idea that we are all talking about what y'all are talking about at home or in your office environments or wherever that may be. That is very different. And we've even had, conversations and disagreements on this panel over the years when I'm like, I'm not a journalist. I was hired as a radio girl who could talk about what's happening in this world. Now, how everybody else wants to identify themselves is totally fine with me. But I think it is a disservice to people who are journalists, who abide by journalistic code and integrity, that everybody and their mama who has a platform now refers to themselves as journalists. I think that you can refer to yourself as a type of journalist. If you want to say this is editorial, this is my opinion-based journalism, but don't just, I think the problem comes in the blanket statement of journalism.
Is it their fault they're getting it wrong? Because journalism and opinion seem to be quite mixed. Do you think it's easy to pull them apart for the average American?
I would say it's credibility, and I think America has lost credibility in the big national news, right? I mean, if you just go back just to the Trump era, I mean, when we started this show was 5 years ago, right? And in the last 5 years, the world has changed a lot. And the credibility just in the last 5 years, even in my own opinion, when we have a big story, whether to do with politics or something that's really headlining, I'll go politically, I'll go to CNN and watch for a little bit, and then go to Fox and watch for a little bit, and they're complete opposites, and then I'll formulate what I want to say for this show.
Good for you.
I even go as far as listening to podcasts because I can't stand the way people lean in national news media. I think that's why people trust their local news or maybe more shows that they're used to. You said it perfectly when you said this is more of a reality show than it is than anywhere near a journalistic show. People are like, who are you? Who are you with your Cheeto fingers? You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm a little bit more credible than you, but by no means a journalist. But I think it's the credibility. People have lost faith in mainstream media. That it's openly biased. I mean, from Hollywood to mainstream. And I get my news from podcasts, little YouTube shows that don't have they're not getting paid by pharmaceutical ads. They're just like, hey, this is my opinion on middle America, and this is the way I'm feeling. That's very much how I feel.
Can I ask you a question and go to Al as well?
No, I'm done.
This is a talk show. You can ask any of us.
Yeah, baby. Are they doing it on purpose? Is Tucker, I'm going to bring up some Tucker Carlson, and some people say CNN on the left, or even MSNBC. Are they doing it to mislead us on purpose?
No. I don't think so, because I don't think they care enough.
But Al, isn't it like what you always say, appealing to your base?
That's what it's your base, but your base, we're getting this confused that the news organizations are this gigantic living organism that are seeking to mislead. They don't care. What their job is to keep your eyeballs on the screen so they can sell you Tide or sell you Pizza Hut or whatever it is. So they do a demo. We're Fox News. Our demographic is this age. They live here. This is their median
So they are
income.
doing it. They are deliberately.
I think they're deliberately trying to make money. No different than anybody else. You have to, when you say you get your opinion from Fox and CNN, I go to the BBC, I go overseas for somebody to look at America with a real objective eye, or at least as objective as possible. It reminds me a lot of that scene in where Harrison Ford, the guy with the missing arm, he was running, The Fugitive.
Oh, yeah. I did not kill my wife.
And they say, I don't
care.
It doesn't matter what the story is. They just want you to watch. If they have to lie, remember when Fox News got in trouble for saying the voting machines weren't working and they got sued into oblivion, and they had to come out and say, we are not news. We are an entertainment organization, no different than The Daily Show. That's how they got out of that. So the idea that Fox News cares, if Fox News started getting ratings by following the BET Awards, you best believe that young Dro would be on their screen. This is just how they roll. They don't care.
Yeah, they should care. That's the problem.
Are there ethics
they
involved?
should care,
right.
because you take the same story, right? You say Trump took documents from the White House. Everyone's like, he can't run again. You got to disbar him. Biden took documents from the White House. It's not a big deal. It wasn't the same thing. 100 laptops, Biden. Oh my God, he has a laptop. I don't even know what's on that laptop. I have no idea. But you hear how bad it is, right? Trump's collusion with Russia. Was there collusion with Russia? I don't know. But these are big headlining stories that are complete opposite opinions depending on what news outlet you watch.
Right, because that's polarizing. That's what gets people.
But where's the truth?
And where's the ethics?
But see, I'm with Al. They don't care. Do you know how much money Tucker Carlson makes?
When you bring Tucker Carlson up in a conversation, the conversation's over. I'm just talking about.
I'm saying it because Al mentioned it, and he said it in context, so I'm using it in context. You could put anybody in there.
But you could put someone from the other side in there too. I'm not defending Tucker Carlson.
Give me a name. I don't even know.
But when you say Trump or when you say
Anderson Cooper,
yes.
but Anderson Cooper was rich before. Okay.
So
yeah,
sorry.
use Don Lemon.
Yeah,
I'm just saying there is a lot. I don't care. It could be Bozo. It could be Bozo.
No, it
I
can't
really
be,
do
'cause he
not
doesn't
care.
deliver.
No, it could be Bozo. Do you have any idea how much money people make out of this? We talk about like it's a network thing. Do you know how many people will do things for a check? How many people at home would say whatever gave them the biggest paycheck possible?
There's no ethics in here at all?
Girl, where are the ethics when you cash in checks, honey?
I do think
Cronkite, we're seriously.
I think there's a half here that we're forgetting, and we act like Don Lemon or Tucker Carlson just come out of the ethos, like they just rise up. And they're brought to them by us. We are the country of the customer is always right. When you present an opinion that people don't like, too often they turn the channel. So they keep putting hosts on until you stop turning the channel. They put Don Lemon on, people stop turning the channel. They put Tucker Carlson on, people stop turning the channel.
But I think people are confused, Al. Here's the problem.
When
you watch Don Lemon or you watch Tucker Carlson, and I want to get both sides of the spectrum in here, people are confused what journalism is and what an opinionated talk show is. So when you're watching Don Lemon on CNN, you think you're getting the news. When you're watching Tucker Carlson, you think you're getting the news. They are heavily opinionated shows on both sides.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So the American public, in essence, doesn't really know what the news is.
And it's
if
not
you're
their fault.
watching one channel and that's where you grew up watching CNN and that's where you get your news, and if there's breaking news, I'm going to put on CNN, you're getting a biased opinion.
Absolutely.
Same thing with Fox, you're getting a biased opinion.
What you made me think about
where is our journalism?
And that's the thing. You know how like on Saturday mornings before football starts or whatever, there's always those ads that say this is a paid ad before it started, whether they're selling knives or blenders. They say this is a paid ad. The audience was paid to be here. They let you know that this is not a real news situation. This is
75% of commercials on television are pharmaceutical ads.
Right.
If you're getting paid by pharmaceuticals, you're not allowed to have opinion on them. You're not allowed to put them down and say, hey man, Big Pharma's not working, because they're paying your bills.
Absolutely.
Very good discussion.
But people don't know that, and it's really unfair to people.
And is it their fault?
Really
it's not their fault, right?
I could easily see how you'd be. It's like Fox News. It says the news.
I know.
How would you not think
MSNBC,
that?
same thing. I got it. So we're going to go to the poll. Do you think national news organizations intend to mislead? 76% of you say yes. 24% of you say no. So at this point, journalism has a strategy to it. We'll be right back. Our viewers are talking about DBL.
Yes!
I like that.
Leaves me speechless. I'm like blushing.
Thank you, thank you.
That's emotional. Do I want to sit there and watch them? Yes, I do.
We're live. Okay, so I just want to be really clear about this because much to Al's point about these news or national news organizations not necessarily caring about much other than the bottom line, I also think that it's incredibly unfair to conflate. I was referring to Tucker Carlson because Al brought up Tucker Carlson. I don't really care who we put into that mix, but I do think that it is not responsible to say that there is a level of hierarchy as to the destruction and the ability to not care or care about certain topics. Like when we're having conversations about this person at one network versus that person on the other, I would hate to be conflated with some of these other examples, even as a national opinion-based news show. And I think that I couldn't come up with someone off the cuff because I really wouldn't even have been able to think about Tucker Carlson off the cuff. I don't mess with him like that, don't care. But I also don't think that Don Lemon necessarily is a direct comparison to Tucker Carlson. So I want to be really clear about that because I think that that would be irresponsible for me not to say that.
Yeah, look, I don't think I think I hold these news stations in almost less regard, and that's no shade to them. I just don't think that they're motivated by anything but money, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing they're looking at. When they look at the bottom line, whether you're in the red or the black, how much money did we make, they're not saying, Erica, were you correct about that opinion about Valentine's Day? They don't care. They're like, you lost ratings in the second quarter.
I totally I get what you're saying. I just think that we just have to be really careful. That's the reason why I asked for bigger examples. That's why I asked for that support, because you have to be careful about what you're saying, especially when it comes to who can be actually credible and who can't be.
Welcome back. Ryan Seacrest made a big announcement today. I don't know if you saw it, but during his daytime talk show with Kelly Ripa, here's what he said.
I made the decision to make this my last season as co-host with Kel here on Live with Kelly and Ryan. I love the fact that we get a chance to sit here every day and connect with you at home in your kitchens, in your living rooms, at work. There's nothing like this on television. I'm getting emotional. I promised Kelly I would not cry.
So the other big news, Kelly announced that Ryan would be replaced by her husband, Mark Consuelos, who has guest hosted on the show with her before, and I love them together. Ryan didn't give any formal reason for leaving the show, but Kelly did say it's been tough on him going back and forth to LA, where he hosts American Idol, to New York, back and forth. And in 2020, guys, he did say he had come down with some exhaustion when people had been worried about him. That's a grind, and I don't know if he needs it. Does he need it?
No, I would say the hardest working man in show business.
By far.
After James Brown, we have to really start talking about Ryan Seacrest. He's been doing this for a year. Bi-coastal.
What is with this conflation today? James Brown, Ryan Seacrest.
James Brown's the hardest working man in show business. You go back and look at some of those concerts from the early 60s.
This is not where I thought this would go.
You were about to sit down and see a show. And honestly, Ryan Seacrest's work ethic is on that level. Ryan Seacrest has been bi-coastal, radio shows, hosting the biggest shows in our nation's history, red carpets. I don't know anybody in this business that works harder and has for more of a consistent time. And look, everybody's got a motor, and sometimes that motor is like, I'm glad he realized it was burning out now rather than something physically happened.
I don't think he's burning out, but listen, out of all the people like I respect in this industry, Ryan Seacrest, because I wish I was more like him. And it sounds weird, but he doesn't have an opinion, right? I ruin my future with things that I say up here. He doesn't. He works with everybody. If he doesn't like Kelly Ripa, we don't know it. If he does, great. He works and he puts in, and he's a hard worker, shuts his mouth, shows up, and that shows his longevity. You got to play the game in Hollywood, and Ryan Seacrest plays the game.
All right, but
I don't know if you could play the game like he did, because he started at a different time in Hollywood.
That's fair.
I agree.
Now you got to say something.
But I also love your opinions, and I don't want you to stop saying them.
What about my opinions?
They're good. Coming up on DBL, I'm just totally kidding. We're talking with holistic plastic surgeon Dr. Yoon all about the latest trends people are doing to change their looks.
Important calls dropped, texts that won't send, posts that won't load. It can be frustrating, and it can even happen in big cities when the bars can't keep up. If you have an iPhone, you might have seen a little status icon in the corner of your screen that says SOS or SOS only when you don't have any service. Some Androids have similar features. So a lot of folks are asking, what does that mean? We went to Apple, the FCC, and the National 911 program to verify. When an iPhone loses, will often switch to SOS only mode. This means the phone can only make calls to 911 or other emergency services. A limitation for sure, but better than nothing in an emergency. And it's not unique to these smartphones with SOS. According to FCC E911 rules, wireless carriers in the U.S. are required to connect any and all 911 calls, even if the caller isn't subscribed to their service. That means as long as your area has some wireless coverage, you should be able to call 911 from a phone with no plan and still reach an operator. But what about when you're totally off the grid? If you have the newest iPhone, that SOS mode might have you covered. According to Apple, iPhone 14s are satellite enabled, allowing users to send text to emergency services even from off the cellular grid. Not as helpful as a call, but the service made headlines back in December when it apparently helped save a stranded man in Alaska. It could also be useful if you're traveling without a SIM card. Apple says the feature is available in the US, Canada, and Australia. So we can verify SOS mode simply means your phone can contact 911 even if you're in a spotty service area.
Welcome back. Our favorite holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Yoon, stopped by, and we chatted all about what people can't stop obsessing over. You know what it is? Your face. And it's Madonna's. Check it out. Dr. Yoon, everyone's been talking about this, and it's a little uncomfortable, but it's Madonna's, face. What happened?
So she hasn't come up forward to say exactly, but this is what I think happened. We do know that the face ages in 3 dimensions, and so we inject filler as a way to re-add volume in the face as we get older. Well, a little filler is a good thing. A lot of filler can be a bad thing. A lot of people are accusing her of having had too much filler, but I wonder if it's not that she had so much filler, but maybe she had a little bit of filler, maybe some laser treatments, and then ended up swelling and then had to go on the Grammys because she does have her tour coming up. I don't think that this is how she's going to look for a long time. My guess is she'll come back in a couple weeks and you'll see she looks back like we normally see her.
Temporary. You know, like back in the day, they've finessed facelifts, but back in the day you could really tell, and then it would relax a couple months later, and then they looked fabulous.
A little swollen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right,
That's
so
what
Dr. Yoon, let's speaking of faces, let's talk about the new O face, Ozempic face. What's the truth? What's the truth about this?
So Ozempic is a diabetes medication, and it has the side effect of actual weight loss. And so a lot of people are now using this as an off-label treatment for weight loss, and people are losing a ton of weight with it, and they're finding that their face is changing. And one person even said that she doesn't recognize her face anymore. Now, we do know that with weight loss, you can also lose weight in your face, and I don't think that there's anything specific about Ozempic or Wegovy that changes your face that normally aging wouldn't do, and that is individual. Everybody's face changes differently if they lose weight. The skin doesn't have the time to really kind of adjust to it and to kind of jump back to what it used to be. But the problem with this is everybody is different. You know, the older you are, the less you take care of your skin. All these are factors that can really change how somebody's face looks with weight loss. And so there unfortunately is not one change fits all in this situation.
Okay. So what are the worst procedures you can have done to your face that people are still getting?
So one big one is the upper lip lift, and I have gone on social media and have expressed my concerns with it, and there are a lot of doctors who've gotten really upset with me because they make a lot of money doing this procedure. This is a surgical operation where you cut out skin from the base of the nose and the upper lip to help lift the lip up.
What?
A
Oh my
lot of young
gosh.
people are doing this. The problem with this operation is it creates permanent scars, and there's always a risk of thickening of those scars. You know, you can hide it with makeup most of the time, but this is something you're going to have for the rest of your life. And doctors are promoting this for people who are in their 20s, believe it or not.
Not Dr. Yoon. No, he's not.
No.
Thank goodness.
No, and Doc, it's good to have another MD here.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about trends here. You know, because you're showing us all this stuff. We can barely watch it. We're 2 months into the new year, and you have to tell us, what is the weirdest trend you've seen just so far?
So there is this trend called slugging, and it's pretty out there, but basically you take a bunch of Vaseline or other occlusive type of an ointment and you put it all over your face. You sleep with it, so it's getting all over your pillow and stuff as a way to aggressively moisturize your skin. Now, this is something that if you're in really, really dry climates, you've got really dry skin, then it may be helpful. But if you have acne-prone skin, if you're in humid climates, if you're applying a lot of actives like retinoids, then you definitely need to avoid slugging.
Or if you have somebody that sleeps in the bed with you, that might be an issue.
Now, I do
Share your pillow with the other person.
I do a little Vaseline right on the edge here, just because it's so dry. Is that okay? Just like a little?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
and you can see in that video that that's not just a little. This is slugging. Like, you've got a slime layer all over your face in this treatment.
How do you
Yeah,
sleep
that
with
looks like
on?
cream for your feet. Don't be putting feet cream on your face.
Dr. Yoon, we love you. Thank
Yes.
you to our viewers. Dr. Yoon
best.
has some of the best content out there. Give him a follow across socials at Tony Yoon MD. We'll be right back. Thanks,
You're the best,
Doc.
Doc. Thank you.
On social media, Beyonce tickets are getting a lot of attention. People continue to talk about high service fees. For example, this is the Chicago ticket. You can see one ticket is going for $2,659. It has a service fee tacked onto it at $618. That's a 23% service charge. Now, many on social media want to know why the service fees are so high, so we went ahead and looked into how companies like Ticketmaster can do this. Our source is Ticketmaster, the White House, and Tom Bartholomew, the president of the Better Business Bureau of Charlotte. How can they have such a large service fee?
Because they can.
Bartholomew tells us in the U.S., there are no laws defining how much companies can charge for service fees. You usually see service fees tacked on tickets, hotel stays, airlines, and credit cards. A release from the White House states that these fees add up to tens of billions of dollars in revenue for these industries every year. On Ticketmaster's website, it states the service fee varies by event based on our agreement with each individual client. They also state a portion of ticket fees, which include service fees, we keep helps us provide clients with software, equipment, service, and support to manage their tickets and the box office, and provide a sales network used by clients to distribute tickets to fans. The remainder, when taken with our other revenues, is how we earn a profit. Ticketmaster does not reveal the service fee up front, only when you are about to check out.
I'm just telling you up front, okay, that $1,500 ticket is going to have another 20% added on to it. And then you can make your decision before you get to all wrapped up into it.
President Biden touched on service fees in his State of the Union address, calling them junk fees.
Hopefully there will be legislation in the United States to at the very least, have transparency.
With your Verify Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
This February, love is in the air with a luxury included vacation to Sandals Dunn's River. Watch DBL every day and start entering for your chance to win the trip of a lifetime.
Verify here with your Fast Fact. When you scroll through Facebook in between updates from your friends, you'll probably scroll past a few ads. Now, some people are posting on their walls a message that claims you can get rid of ads by upgrading the system. All you have to do is repost this message. So, let's verify. Will posting a chain message remove ads from your Facebook feed? These are our sources. Facebook's main source of income is advertising, and its help center says you can't opt out or block seeing ads, no matter how many times you post the chain message. AVG suggests adding a third-party ad blocking tool to block some banner ads, but it won't hide what appears in your feed. So, no, posting a chain message will not remove ads from your Facebook feed. With your Fast Fact, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Today's Sandals word of the day is vacation. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2 to beautiful Jamaica.
Vacation. It's Thursday, and that means it's time for some sweet, sweet deals. Get your shopping heads on. Take a look. Steph, what do you have for us today? Fill me in.
Hi, Tori. Hey, DBL Nation. I am so excited. First up, we've got the JVC Air Cushion Wireless Earbuds. So this deal includes one pair of earbuds. We've got them available in pink and one of my favorite colors, mint. So normally these are $30.
Not bad.
But guess what, Tori? We've got them for $14.99, which is saving up to 50%. Okay, now this is the Tac Life 800 amp portable jump starter kit.
Oh, this is good.
So this deal includes one jump starter with clamps, one wall charger, one car charger, one cigarette adapter, and one micro USB, available in 4 colors. We've got orange, green, red, and yellow. And normally, and unsurprisingly, these bundles are $100.
Yeah.
But we've got it for just $39.99, which is saving up to 60%. So up next, we've got the Westinghouse 13-piece clipper and trimmer combo set. So this deal includes one clipper, one trimmer, 2 protective caps, one comb, one pair of scissors, one clipper oil, one cleaning brush, 4 clipping guides, and one drawstring pouch. So normally this is $50.
That's not bad.
But we've got it for $22.99, saving 54%, Tori. Moving on, the last product of today is the 20-pack of Laundry by Shelly Segal Ladies Low Cuts.
Oh.
So this deal will include 20 pairs of socks. Normally, this pack is $56, but we've got it for just $19.99. So that's saving up to 64%.
I love this. All right, head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can even scan the QR code on screen. It'll take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph. Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but they were just showing socks. Aren't you excited when someone gets you like a good pair of socks now?
I never thought that would happen, but yes.
Yeah.
Socks and underwear.
Right?
Or underwear.
And a nice fresh T-shirt.
That's
Those are
all
the best
you
gifts.
need. And a nice fuzzy pair, like a nice thick wool hunting wool sock.
No, that's the
hunting
opposite.
sock.
I like it
What is a
thick.
hunting sock?
You know, when you go hunting.